says starting, so I believe we're live. Yes, this hangout is live. Welcome to the Philip Cockram channel. Welcome to We Are YouTube Live, episode 3. My guest tonight is Violet Bird. Welcome to the Philip Cockram channel. Welcome to We Are YouTube Live, episode 3. My guest tonight is...
Hello, hello.
Hello, Bottle Caps.
How's everyone doing out there?
Let me type something into the chat there too, so people know who I am. Hello, all. All right, that's done. Thank you.
Oh wow, we have someone in South Korea. That's awesome.
Hi, Julie's Miracle School. Nice to see you today. Thanks for joining the show. Hello, Bottle Caps. So we're just, we're just getting my students set up here. So how are you doing tonight, Violet? Thank you very much for being on my show today.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I was very, very happy to get the invitation and see what you're all about. I love your T-shirt. You have to tell me about it.
I saw this sign on my travels, and as you may know, I work on the road. I'm driving around the environs all the time, and it had it said, "Drive like your kids live here," and there was also a kilometer reading, or for our U.S. friends, miles per hour. And I think it said 15 miles per hour or something like that. So I decided to kind of cut that portion off when I made the signs that I wanted to put up on my streets in my neighborhood, to keep the kids and people around my, community safe, right? So I do them out of my my own pocket. They cost me $30, right, to put up, right? And I think if it saves anybody from, hello, Nathan likes drums, how are you tonight? Any child from being injured, I think it's well worth it, right? So it's that's something I'm interested in, and I decided to, when I came on YouTube, I needed a picture to put for my channel icon, and here we go. And it's stuck, and I kind of like it.
No, it's awesome. I like it too.
It's a message that's kind of universally believed in. How can you not? So I didn't have any permission, let's say, to put these signs up. I just did it. And what kind of person would go and take that down? That's what I...
Well, they say it's better to beg forgiveness than to ask permission, so I think you're okay.
Yeah. So how many kids do you have, Violet?
Oh, 3.
And how old are they?
A lot of kids. Noelle is 7, Beowulf is 4, and Marigold is 2. And funny story, Marigold's birthday is September 20th, and Beowulf's birthday is 18th, and both of them were a week early.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because that January, I decided that, maybe we would have a baby that year. And that happened twice. I thought it was funny. Anyways. Yeah.
Well, your kids are adorable. They're just adorable. They're very talented too. I was watching Noelle's video today. Really, it was pretty much hers. It was just awesome.
Well, Noelle really loves to be a part of the action, and she was just very happy to get to do something with me. But she wanted to go and see this movie, Wreck-It Ralph 2, for like 6 months. That's all she's talked about. So
I saw that.
I said, okay, fine. I'll take you to the movie, but then you have to do a review for my channel. And she said, oh, okay. So that worked out.
Good deal. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Giggles is here.
Well, hi, Giggles. How are you tonight? As you can see, you've already got some a nice blue dress there, because we've met before a few times, and same with you, Nathan. There, you got some blue jeans on you when you got in there, because we've known each other for a while, and just want to let you guys know that kind of people that I trust, and keep an eye out in the chat. you know, say hello to people, mingle, get to know each other. We're all about that here. New subscriber, Philbert. He's not lurking on our show. So tell us.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Tell us about yourself, Violet. Like whatever you want to share. You know, like this, you know, open question, kind of like Pusa Studios would always like to open their show with, right? Is like share what you would like to share about your history and background, how you got to YouTube, how you got married, how you ended up in Calgary, whatever you want.
Okay, well, so you may have heard this story already, and if you have, I'm so sorry. It's just, it was actually kind of incredible how I met my husband. So I was in a relationship that was just very yucky, and my English teacher from grade 10 sent me a text on Facebook. I was in my second year of university, and she just said, "Hey, I was reading your blog full of sad poetry, and I thought of my nephew, who also has a blog full of sad poetry. Can I give him your contact info?" And I said, "Okay." And I started sending emails to my grade 10 theater teacher's nephew, and he was sending emails back to me. We were kind of like pen pals, and I was telling him about this relationship out of because it's kind of yucky, and I don't know, we just really, really clicked, and he gave me some very, very good advice, and for like 3-4 months, we just sent each other really, really long messages on Facebook and got to know each other. Is that crazy?
Relationship to start, right?
Yeah, he was in Calgary, and I was going to university in Kelowna, and you know, just really trying to figure some stuff out with my life. And this beautifully charming, polite man was responding to me, and it was the first time I had come across someone who was just a complete gentleman and aspiring to be a complete gentleman. I mean, there's lots of really nice men out there, but this person on the other side of the internet, it was strange because he's actually 5 years older than me, and I was 19 and he was 24. So at the time, it was a little bit like, okay, well.
Just going to ask you what the age difference was there before you. So thanks for sharing that, because that's kind of means people are going to ask or be interested in. So continue by all means.
Yeah, well, I mean, 5 years is a really good difference in age, and you know, my mom always told me that the minimum age difference should be 5 years. So I'm like, okay, well, that kind of works. I mean, my birthday's in February and his is in June, so it's almost perfect. But anyway, so I'm kind of getting off the beaten track here, but he liked me for some reason. I couldn't really figure out why, because I was just this person on the other end of a computer responding to his which I love Jane Austen, and he drove out to visit me, and he drove all the way from Calgary to Kelowna in like the middle of winter, and it was super icy and nasty, but he came to see me, and he had a dozen red roses. I'd never seen them before, and I knew that second, the second I had my eyes on him, I was just like, oh no. My name is going to be Violet Bird. Oh, shoot.
I can imagine there's a woman or two out there as well that thought the same thing about me. I don't want to be called that.
It was like love at first sight, but the problem is I had like the most glamorous last name before I was married. I was Violet Monroe.
Ooh, Monroe.
And I thought that just had a beautiful ring to it. Yes, I was Violet Monroe, right? And I was very proud to be Violet Monroe. And I'm like, Violet Bird. Okay, that sounds like a purple animal.
It does sound like a made up name. I want to say, you know, not to denigrate it at all, but it does sound like,
that could. I mean, obviously, so we got married, and I'm like, oh well. I mean, I can't do anything about it. So I'm gonna name my children whatever I want to name them. And our collaboration in Names We Loved became Noelle and Beowulf and Marigold.
That's awesome, though. That's awesome.
I'm absolutely delighted to have a son named Wolf. Right? So.
Wolfbird.
Yeah. We call him Wolfie.
Yeah, my last name can be a little contentious, right? For some people, and I think it makes some people laugh and some people giggle and some people whatever, but it is real. I can't deny that, right? I can't call myself something else. I'd be a liar.
Yeah, you know all about names.
And boy, did I ever learn how to fight pretty fast in school. I tell you, I got teased pretty early on, and then okay, well, I'm either going to take it or not. So I learned not.
Oh, Giggle's husband is also 5 years older, and Julie is doing a channel about studying, and what else is happening? Whoop, 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 whoop. Perth Observer. I don't know who you are. Are you in my network already? If you are, I'm sorry. Hello.
How are you today?
Oh, Sid's here. Cool. Lots of people.
Yeah, it's amazing. I was just, saying that thinking that to myself the other day, because I was on somebody's channel, I think, in the Philippines, and I saw, Giggles there or somebody else, and I go, wow, it's, friends meet friends, right? So it's just kind of how it goes, right? Nice
well,
people.
Giggles is kind of a rock star. I have to say, her channel, she's doing things I'd like to do. She's got a very consistent audience that keeps coming back. That's quite big. You have to tell me, Philip, how. It's a little weird for me to call you Philip because that's my husband's name. So if I'm pausing before I say it, it's because that's also your name. Philip.
What do you call him? Do you call him Phil or Philip?
I don't know. Am I angry or am I happy when I'm talking?
Or if that middle name comes out, you're in trouble, right?
If it's been a really long day, I call him Birdo. And if I've been hanging out with my brother Frederick, I call them both Fleddy because I conflate Freddie and Phil, so they're both Fleddy.
Yeah.
But usually he's Phil. Yeah.
So one of the it's one of the first live streams that I think I was commented. So I watched some of your videos and I knew who you were, and I saw you were live one day, and I said, let's jump on and say hi to Violet Bird, and your kids were there. And so you said hello to me in the chat, and they thought that, oh, it's Daddy. Oh, hi, Daddy.
No, you're like, oops. Oh yeah, no, it's so funny because that's just how it goes. It's good. It's so funny because, I mean, hey, it's a good name. It works.
Yeah.
But when they're little.
Hey, how are you tonight? Great to see you on the stream. Thank you very much. Ako Ryu, well, probably not saying that right, but welcome to the show tonight. Ako Ryu. Ako Ryu. I think that's how you say it properly.
You?
So what would you like to talk about next, Violet?
Oh, yeah. I want to talk about your original channel because I was looking at it. I found it watching one of your videos, and I couldn't believe it. Like, you were doing really cool RC stuff there, and you had some solid views. So what happened? I can definitely understand starting a new channel because I had an old channel before too, back in 2007, and it was just like, it's gone. I deleted everything on it because it was not okay. But what happened with that channel you had? Because it actually looked pretty cool. I mean, you were putting together racetracks and just doing a lot of things that are beyond me. And I see that you were getting some good feedback from YouTube. So what was the decision that caused you to start a new channel?
It's a very kind of long, complex story, but I'll give you like a very, as succinct as answer as I can. Back in those days, I just kind of was, filming stuff and posting it. I never really meant to be like a creator or channel, like what we would call it today. The views that are on there, and my best video has, I think, 243,000 views on it. Was just me filming some RC stuff, what we call like a hack or a bash or something like, and it is a couple of cars like, getting stuck with each other, and then gas-powered cars don't have reverse, right? So you keep like, and it's a terrible video, and I don't get why it did so well, but that's how it is, right? With videos, you never know what's gonna kind of take off and get popular, or how it's shared or something like that. So I uploaded fairly consistently for a few years, from 2006 to 2008-9, and then didn't do anything until about 2013, and it popped up a couple more videos, right? Then my channel became inactive, what YouTube calls inactive. I wasn't on YouTube for, years and years and years. So even actually from the very early days when I was posting videos in 2006 to 2008, I wasn't really watching YouTube all the time. Like YouTube wasn't a kind of thing that, was like it is today, right? So when I came back to start watching YouTube last year, okay, so I haven't watched YouTube for years and years, no idea what's going on. When I came back, YouTube created a new channel for me, which was my name, which I could have changed, of course, or whatever. And then after about a month of watching YouTube in the future, 2017/18, I decided to start my own channel, which is a new channel.
Well, and that makes a lot of sense, right? We're always trying to reinvent ourselves. I mean, my old channel was from a much darker period in my life, and that's why I ended up clearing it out. And it wasn't because I didn't have any views, and it wasn't because it was completely separate from me. I did things like I played piano on it, and I did a little bit of the people I was watching on YouTube back in 2007, 2008, and the place I was in my life. Like, it was just, it's so different from what I want to put into the world now, and what I want
10 years ago, that's a long
my
time.
kids to look at and be about,
Yep, I hear you.
So it's just, you have to, when you get married and you have kids, that kind of changes what you're willing to do with yourself, because now you're responsible to another set of people. Even if, because my old channel was like yours, it wasn't my name. It was like not my name. It was just my old, do you remember when you would have a email account and you would never use your name because that was like bad for your personal information, so you'd make up like a goofy name?
Yeah.
Like I remember when in the 90s you did not use your name on anything with the internet, because that was your personal information, whereas now it's so inescapable. If you're on the internet, everyone knows who you are, right? So like you've got to embrace it, because if you don't, it's like whatever. But I had so many interesting names. I remember one of my first, this wasn't my YouTube name, but one of my emails was Rabid Horse Girl, like when I was 12, because, I wanted to say rabbit, but I thought that was too boring. So it was a rabid horse girl. So, I mean, I always think it's interesting. I'd love to know what other kind of funny names people had. Does anyone have any funny names in the chat from when they were back in the day on the internet?
Does, because her name from my understanding, kind of happened just like you described. Like it was a lark to set up, her account or something. Like, well, I got to type in something. Oh, okay, giggles, and it stuck. And I think it's a great name because myself and several other people I've talked to already have said, like, I just clicked on it to see what it was. Like, what is this? Is this just people giggling? Like, well, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, she won the lottery with that YouTube name. How awesome is that? Like, I don't care what she's posting. With that name, I'm going to click on it.
There you go.
Okay,
Right?
Giggles did the coolest YouTube video I've seen in like 6 months. It's like one of the few ones that I actually remember. She got this magical mascara and she just kept putting it on and on and on, and her eyelashes got super long. It was really freaky. I saw that and I'm like, wow. You know how sometimes you see a video and it sticks with you? Like, if there's something that's going to go viral, it should be Giggles eyelashes going like out to here, because that's something, man.
Let's hope it does, right? She was live streaming tonight, actually, just before we came on. I joined the chat for a few minutes because I was busy, as you know, just to say hi and let her know that I still supported her, right? And she's really great. Have you watched any of her live streams?
I haven't seen any of her live streams. No, I've just watched kind of her makeup side of things. I just haven't gotten there yet. I'm really just kind of starting to turn the gears and getting back into this thing, because honestly, I haven't even watched Casey Neistat for like 2 months, and that's pretty bad, because anyone who knows me knows that I'm a bit of a Casey Neistat head, right? It's like, do you see what Casey did?
Well, he just had another baby, and he hasn't been making as many videos. So, I'm not going to say you haven't missed anything, but you haven't missed. Like, he hasn't been doing a lot of daily stuff, that's for sure, right? They've been, a couple of videos a week and stuff like that. So I think just starting to get back in. And then the last one, well, not his last video, but Peter McKinnon had a good video about being alone in Casey Neistat's studio, right? pretty fun to watch, right? If you're into Peter's work at all, right?
Pooh's videos always name drops them. So I'll have to check that out.
So, yes, you've been kind of off YouTube for the last 2 months, right?
I have 100% off. Except for Justine. I still watched her videos. I'm sorry. I really like Justine. It's unhealthy.
Yeah.
I think she's my best friend, and she doesn't even know I exist. I'm sure you guys all have that YouTuber, but she's mine. Like, Justine, we're gonna go for coffee. We never will, but we should, man. But yeah, 2 months out. That was just I was telling you earlier, I was taking a math course to try and upgrade my degree, just my GPA, to try and get into an after degree program.
Right.
So, yeah.
You kind of interrupted your university career because of marriage and kids and stuff. Is that right?
Well, what happened is, my really clever grade 10 English teacher set up an English major student with an English major nephew. And then we're looking at each other and we're like, wow, we both have English degrees. So, we're going to get really hungry. So we decided that we really, really hungry English majors. And, I was expecting my first daughter, Noelle, and he had a higher GPA than me. So I said, okay, we are both going to get teaching after degrees because we like teaching and this makes sense. But you have the better GPA and you're obviously not pregnant. So you're going to go and apply to get a teaching after degree. And then once you're through, we'll put me into a teaching after degree program. What happened was I had my daughter, and while I was pregnant, when I was pregnant, I worked full-time at Tim Hortons as like a shift supervisor. And then I went on maternity leave, and then I came back and worked as a nanny and as a shipment person at Lululemon and as a piano teacher. And that was a lot of things I was doing. And
Wow, yeah.
and I really, really liked that. So I went and worked somewhere else at the mall at Jacob. I stopped teaching piano because that was too much, and the nanny position ended because the family wanted to spend more time with their kids, which makes sense. I'm all about that. But I saw that my mom was opening a Disney store, and I lost my bananas because I had a good job. In fact, I had lots of employment opportunities. But I'm like, I have to work for Disney. So they literally were setting it up, and the district managers were coming in, and I just was like standing outside the window and watching, and there's like a hiring sign up, and the person who was going to open the store was there and said, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "I'm Violet. I would love to come work for you." And I applied, and they hired me as kind of like a shift supervisor. They called me a key leader, and I was just over the moon to work for Disney. And I did that for a year, and then I became pregnant with my son, and I went on maternity leave, and then I came back because there was an opportunity for a promotion. And so I worked as an assistant manager for a while, and then became pregnant with my daughter and worked while I was pregnant. And then I went on maternity leave again. And then I came back to the Disney store a third time to take a temporary store manager position, which was awesome and insane. But keyword there, temporary. And my permanent position was gone, and things kind of had to end, and that's okay. But here I am on YouTube looking for the next thing, and I'm like, wait a minute, I already know what I'm going to do. I'm supposed to be getting a teaching degree. Never mind that it's been 7 years. No big deal.
Yeah.
Shoot. You know how life just keeps piling on, and you kind of forget what your plan was, and then it's like, wait a minute. I just got the bucket of cold water splashed on my face.
Life interrupts, as many people say.
Yeah.
Your knowledge of Disney is amazing, right? I've watched a couple of your Disney trivia shows and stuff like that, and they're really interesting. I've even seen bottle caps there a couple of times as well, right? And I know it's just like a lot of fun, right? And you've obviously been a big Disney fan for I would assume most of your life, right?
Oh, I'm a super fan for sure.
Super fan.
Looks like we have a Shanke Loyola in the house. Hello, hello. But yeah, working for Disney, it allowed me to go on trips with my family, with my mom, with my husband, with my kids. Well, actually, just Noelle has actually ever been. But I went, I kidnapped my cousin for her stag at, and I took her to Disneyland. That's right. I was the maid of honor, and I took her to Disneyland, and it was awesome. If you want to do a stag at in Disneyland, it's a great idea. Everyone wear matching Mickey Mouse shirts and be totally sweet and goofy. It was wonderful. But it was a really, really great experience working for the company. And the only regret I have is that I couldn't make it last indefinitely.
Right. You think you'd
I couldn't figure that out. So, but it was a wild ride. It was pretty great.
Is teaching like your passion?
Yeah.
That's what you really want to do?
Yeah.
I think you'd be a great teacher.
So I think that, when you talk about your passion in life, it's important to be able to wake up in the morning and be excited about what you're going to do. And I think if you have a plan for a group of people and a goal for them, then you're going to be just fine. And I think that what you can do as a teacher is you can actually create what the world is going to be like, right? It's an incredibly hopeful profession. If you're going to teach, then you've decided that the future is a good place that you want to be a part of. Yeah. So I honestly, on that level, I think teaching is the best thing you can do. I had a hard time teaching piano, though, because I think I have some kind of mild form of narcolepsy. If I sit down too long, I fall asleep. So you'll notice when I'm live streaming, I'm always standing and I move around a lot. It's because if I sit down, I tend to fall asleep.
I'll try and ring a bell. I'll get my guitar.
So when I was taking my math course, I would do like push-ups every 10 minutes to just try and not pass out. So yes, I tried to teach piano, but oh my goodness, it was really hard to sit and just listen. Like, you know, just pay attention. I'm paying attention. I'm paying attention. And I'm hitting the ground. So
I've been asked, you know, to be a teacher actually several times in some of the different locations I've had, because people have just responded to my, you know, training skills and stuff. They say, you would be like a really good teacher. Like, you know, you just have a way of putting across the information, you know, in a way that we can absorb it. And we all learn differently, don't we? You know, like I learn some things very quickly and easily, and then other things I just got to keep beating it through my head to get it, you know, like, and how we absorb knowledge and energy. We're all different that way, right?
100%. And, you know, I think that the biggest lesson that I had to learn before being ready for this kind of next part of my life was I was never, ever a very careful or a very patient person. I kind of ran into things as fast as I could, and I worked as hard as I could, and it was kind of like smashing myself up against a wall, right? Like just going for it no matter what it was. And, you know, it's just in the last year or so with what happened with my work and my grandma passing away and trying to apply to school and get my life back on that kind of track. And YouTube even, I've learned that you actually have to be careful with yourself and with people, and you have to be patient because, you know, not everyone comes out patient. My kids are all very patient, except for my youngest. But I'm not naturally that way. It takes me like a lot of self-talk and practice to be a patient person. So I think that when you're ready for certain things to happen in your life, that's kind of when it comes. And I think you would be an excellent teacher. You seem to be pretty patient and thoughtful. And I think that's pretty much the number one thing you need to be if you're a teacher.
There's a funny side note to that. My
were you teaching guitar? Or?
It's mostly been my trades and my profession. Like I'm a millwright, right? So I know how to, you know, weld and fabricate. And I'm an electrician. I'm a plumber. I'm a carpenter. I'm like, you know, all of those skills in one, so to speak. That's the definition.
Fix my house, please. My shower upstairs doesn't work, so I have to go downstairs to have a shower.
Yeah,
the knob is loose.
A couple of people have said you should do some how-to videos, right? I said, well, they do well. You know, one of the good things about them is they have long-term traction. So if you make a video about fixing, you know, the ball joint on a 2003 Ford Mustang, people will watch that for maybe years. You know what I mean? Like it could be relevant today to somebody, but it could be relevant to somebody just as much in a year's time, right? And so the video is what my friend Sonny and I call has a heartbeat. You know, it doesn't just, and that's one of the sad things about live streams is they have like this spike, but they don't have much of a beat. Like once the live stream's kind of over, not too many people will watch the videos, right? Because it was a live stream.
Live streams are very tricky that way. You know, I'm wondering because some of my some people on my network do the live streaming and they get their watch time up there and they've got the subscribers, but YouTube seems to do a very delicate balancing act before they monetize. So I definitely think that live streaming is a very important part of building your channel and growing your YouTube presence, but it's got to be balanced off with the content you're putting out. That's kind of the conclusion I'm at anyways, but I don't know. It all seems very random and arbitrary. I don't know. I think that the best thing I've come across is this idea of I really like it. It says is the value. What's the value that you're giving to the viewer? Why are they spending their time on you? And your example of the Ford Mustang, repair is perfect, right? That is a huge value to someone who doesn't want to go pay and have someone else do it. They do it themselves. It's perfect.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's difficult because the stuff that's really fun to make is like the daily vlogs and the adventures and the out and abouts and, you know, just doing things you love. But it's like, what is the value for someone who's watching this? What's the value for the advertisers, right? Like, I can tell you now, the videos I have that are performing well are probably connected to a much larger company that's like, ooh, she said our name and she's got a thought, and that's not a negative one, right? Like skincare, strollers.
The Bugaboo stroller things there, right? Because that's done very well.
So somebody's just, well, I mean, it's my biggest video, and I put it out a couple years ago. It's comparing an old version with a new version of a stroller. Yeah. And, you know, how mundane, the idea that I'm comparing strollers, but apparently that's the only thing I do that warrants that kind of attention, right? I don't get it. Bottle Cats isn't happy with me. Sorry, man.
About making, like, you know, when your kids at the park and stuff like that, that, you know, you would hope get those views, or like not. I know that's the same way. So.
Yeah, well, I get a little bit put out because when people reach a certain level at YouTube, they can do whatever they want, right? Like, Justine could sit there and talk to her dog, and Casey Neistat could talk about his opinions on like coffee versus tea, and he'd get 1 million views on it, right? It's just, it's hard because, like, you have to get to a certain level doing stuff that is incredibly helpful to people. And then maybe you get to start to bring some of yourself in a bit more. But I'm like, well, we're all here to create anyway. So put up what you want. And if someone wants to watch it, that's good. Build networks, make friends. Like, what else can we really do? I mean, this is our life, right?
Yeah. One of my driving factors is the legacy kind of aspect of it, right? Because this is, you know, something I can leave, you know, after I'm gone, right? You know, Miss Kathy's like reading books and some videos, and we were talking about it, and she said, these are future videos for my future grandchildren to be able to watch. And I just like made my heart, you know, just I mean, that's incredible. And it's incredible that we have this technology available to us to do this, right? And, you know, all of us are indebted to YouTube for that, right? But there's also, you know, another business side of it that can be hard too, right? You know.
Well, I mean, what's the dream? To get a small residual income to take care of a little bit of your life, right? And then you can go back to it. Like, there's nothing wrong with that in the back of your head. And if you're having fun and it gives you direction and purpose, I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to do it effectively. Like, when I was trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, back before they said the 2,000 watch hours, you know what? I had no problem doing that. I thought it was a completely reasonable thing to do. Yeah. And whenever I went and found someone's channel, I would definitely put on their video and I would give them the view and try and learn a little bit about them. And, you know, I don't know. I really like this idea that what you put out there will come back to you in some form or another, right? People are desperate for positive interaction. It's a very scary, lonely world out there. And as a millennial, I'm a very millennial when it comes to structured social situations. I've worked retail, right, my entire life. I started working at Tim Hortons when I was 14. So I know how to talk to people when it comes to like non-personal and very professional, polite relationships. But yeah, for those deeper relationships, I think that's actually kind of moved to a forum like this. People get to know each other on the internet, right? It's harder for a lot of people to have the same level of interaction in person anymore because we're all kind of like these separate little spaceships moving through space.
Well, I heard the term LDR used a couple of times, right? And what is that? You know, it's one of those little things you have to look up, right, until you know what it was. And it's people short form for long distance relationship. And I didn't know that it was, you know, had been abbreviated, if you will, right? So many people are using it so commonly that they are, you know, keeping that short form to it, right? And again, one of the great things about modern technology, it can allow people to connect, especially people that are isolated too. I know, I'm just thinking of a few channels that, they live in like really tiny little places, right? And this is like their window to the world, so to speak.
Well, it's really exciting too, because it's like the whole world opens up to you. It's not just a specific group. It's like anybody who is kind of trying to do the same thing as you, you'll find if you look for a little while. I mean, I don't know. I just think the whole idea of building the community and the small YouTubers, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, I know all of us would love to just break out and become, more exposed, because that's the fun of it, is that risk that maybe something crazy might happen and then you have to get a little bit more careful about what you say.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But, it's a good point. Like there's a little bit of you could say a little bit of a lottery aspect to this, right?
Yeah.
Today could be your day. Your number comes up, if you will, right? And bottle caps has brought up a term. Bear with me for a sec. Like, 'cause he said it a couple times, but it's gaining a little bit of traction. It's like we all seem to be swimming around this toilet bowl of YouTube. Is anybody going to make it out before we all get flushed down the drain? It's kind of what I'm saying, because there's so many great channels that people don't kind of know about, or like you've just like how you described Giggles. Your impression of Giggles is like someone that you respect and you look up to, and you'd like to really see her get bigger and grow, right?
Oh, she should break out. There's absolutely no reason why she shouldn't break out and get the views and the monetization, and then, afford to. I mean, her setup's it's good, but as you start to see positive returns, you can make your mics better, you can make your lights better, you can just get excited about it, right? And I don't think she's any worse than my favorite vlogger, like iJustine, right? Maybe she isn't like Casey Neistat, but there's only one Casey Neistat out there, right? But she's great. There's no reason why she shouldn't have more exposure, because she's smart, she's clever, she likes to talk to people and interact. There's no reason why she shouldn't be breaking out. And my good friend Bottle Caps, I mean, I'll always bring him up because he's hilarious, but the stuff he puts out is so interesting and quirky and fun, right? Like, this is like feeding birds. He does 10 minutes of torturing these animals by giving them like different kinds of food, and he does fireworks, he does beautiful drone footage, and I'm like, why isn't this guy showing up anywhere? Why do I have to actually know who he is to see his stuff? How come the algorithm isn't like, wow, he has a cool name and he does cool photography and funny, quirky stuff, so let's put him up here? Because I know my husband, my brothers, they would click on his stuff in a heartbeat. It's interesting. And I would too, honestly. But the algorithm definitely likes faces, right? So if you have your face like up here in your thumbnail and you're pointing to something, does the algorithm likes that, right?
For some reason.
So I put up my daughter's video today, and I'm like, oh shoot, her face isn't close enough to the camera in the pic. Gonna do well. And it's as simple as that, because how many channels have young children talking about things without very much expertise that have like hundreds of millions of thousands of views? So my husband has a student in his class who's a YouTuber, and she is far more successful than me, doing way less. Whatever. Bottle Caps, are you too ugly to stick your face up here? I'm sure you'd be fine.
I look at advice channels, watch advice channels. Of course, I'm always interested in trying to better myself and my channel. Some things, I might agree with in theory, but I don't want to do it on my channel. I just don't want to do it. That's my choice, right? And one of the things, Pusa Studios was, talking about it, I think a few weeks ago, right? About the thumbnails and about how the AI picks up not only the face, but your expressions in the thumbnail, right?
Too much.
So I'm in the back of my head, I'm thinking, okay, the AI is messing with us. Okay, they're trying to make us look like dummies.
Well, I mean, I don't mind making silly faces. I mean, if YouTube wants me to go, then okay, whatever. I don't care. I mean,
I just think it's kind of weird, right?
It's just it's silly, right? It's like, okay, YouTube.
This isn't a person
And,
saying like, "Hey, make a funny face," like or like you just did, like computer.
So okay, right? I don't know.
Telling us to do this, right? Or rewarding us for doing.
What's the joke? Is like cat videos, right? Just put up a cat.
It's amazing how many cats have channels on YouTube, isn't it? Like there's thousands of cats have channels on YouTube. I mean, it's amazing.
Just one bird here.
It's just the one bird.
just the one bird. We're not as cute. But like we just sing tonight. Oh, now I see why you brought me here.
Would you like to sing, huh?
I was at a choir practice. Actually, I was directing a whole bunch of teenagers through "Oh Holy Night" and "Jingle Bells." It was something.
Yeah.
And some of them were better than me. So I don't know. So
one of our favorite videos that Bottlecaps and I have talked about there a few times is your "Oh Canada" thing, because he put it in one of his videos as well, right? And I remember watching that one, and it always I just think you did an awesome job on that, right? And your voice is just so lovely and melodic, so almost anything you sing just sounds good, in my opinion.
you've gone quiet. That's okay. I think it's just a quick jump ahead.
Yeah. I lost you there for a sec too.
Yeah, I don't know. My dad kidnapped me 2 weeks ago. He had me drive out to Vernon, BC from Calgary to go sing at his church event. And by the end of it, I was exhausted. It was 2 hours of straight 4-part harmony. And a lot of it's in Ukrainian or Old Slavonic. And, he's very serious about his music, right? One of with my sister is, I always get confused, but it's like the glory be, so in a church service, glory be to the Father and to the Son and to the Holy Spirit. But it's in Old Slavonic. So if you don't know what you're listening to, you would have no idea, right? But it's the Eastern Catholic Church is very different than the Roman Catholic Church. The musical tradition didn't get changed with the what is it called? The Second Ecumenical Council, is that right? I don't know. Pope John Paul II did something in the 60s or 70s, and the Roman Catholics just kind of changed their whole service, and the Eastern Catholics didn't.
Right.
Melodies I've been singing are kind of terrifying because they're the same melodies that have been sung for maybe 1,000 years, right? Like,
wow.
Isn't it scary to think that you could be singing something that was being sung of it? Like, it's very old and the harmonies are very rich, but it's strange because it's a very limited audience.
It's super cool though. That's like,
very well because it's very specific, right?
Yeah. I'm kind of like big against copyright and cover tunes and that kind of stuff myself, right? So I know it's going to disappoint like a lot of people, right? But that's me. It's, I don't want to get my channel nailed and tagged and stuff there either, right? So.
his phone and see if that helps my internet, just because if it's boggy, that's no good either.
All right.
Shut it down! Shut it down! Do you think I should sing? I could sing.
Thank you, ATJH, for
Phoning a
joining the show
friend.
tonight. Great to have you here as always, my friends. Anybody I get in the chat there too, I just want to say hello again.
ATJH. You are like the best follower. You've commented on everything I've put out. So I'm just gonna
They
say
are
thank you.
excellent supporters.
All right, are you paused, Mr. Bird?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'll sing a little
Looks
bit,
a lot
and
smoother
if I
now.
garble,
Looks a lot smoother there now, Violet.
it's a little better.
Oh, it's much better there, yeah.
I knew my husband was doing something. He's probably in the video, but that's okay. Apparently, you can't stream and watch at the same time with a TELUS internet connection.
Yeah.
Too hard. Okay, so the song that my dad had me do when I was my daughter's age in Old Slavonic, it's Slava Tsuesewi Sviatomu Duhui Nini Presnoi Ivoviki Voviki Vika Amen. Jedinorat nisene islo Ovi Bože besme Tinsi Izvolene spasenia Naši horodi Voplotis Yahotsviatia Bohorodici. Anyways, that's Old Slavonic, so it's before Ukrainian, before Russian. It's a different language. It's kind of like described to me as the Latin of the Slavic languages. So I don't know, but I've always wondered when I'm singing these songs at church if I'm pronouncing them correctly, because I can't read Cyrillic. What my dad used to do is like spell it out in English, right? So it's like you read that and it's like, what's that? Slava Otsu? I hope that's right.
And when you're singing those words too, I think there's a little bit of forgiveness to it, because people, just have different styles of singing, right? But that was like hypnotic, Violet. Honestly, it was very, very beautiful, very lovely.
Thank you. It's
Can you do some more?
It's definitely something that's my life.
Can you do some more for us?
Oh, let me think.
Not pressuring you, hon. You do whatever you want, right? It's your show. So.
I almost wanted to pull in my husband and make him go with me. I think.
Oh, we're gonna get a duet.
Do you think you could?
Jump on the show, Phil. Don't be shy.
Come on, Phil. Don't be shy.
Yeah.
And he'll be mad at me, but it's okay because he cut my hair shorter than he was supposed to, so that will be even.
There he is. Uh-oh. I think her connection might have got interrupted, folks. Oh no. It was going so well. We'll give it a sec here. There's some lag or buffering. Thank you all for joining me tonight. It's been awesome so far. Yeah, Bottle Caps, I just saw your comment there. It says 5 minutes net connection is slow. We'll give her a sec there. Hope she come back because, well, I'm enjoying myself immensely talking to Violet Bird and getting to know her more. And I hope you guys are also enjoying the show as well. And I was planning to do a guitar live show tonight, but Violet Bird was available to be interviewed. So I thought, well, let's get her on. You know, let's strike while the iron's hot. As she said earlier in the show, if you didn't catch it, she's been off YouTube for a couple of months, right? And hasn't been even watching any videos, let alone had time to make videos, right? So yeah, I see her kind of, she's dropped off there completely now, so that's not good. So yeah, 2 months in YouTube time is 2 years. You know, it's like dog years, right? You know, like the way YouTube goes, right? So she, yeah, it's a long time to be away. And as far as the algorithm, you know, acknowledges our videos and our uploads and stuff, that's, you know, forever. The reason I didn't want to do a proper promo video of this show today is because I didn't want to suppress the video I just put out yesterday, and that's what will happen when if you know upload a new video within 24 hours of your last upload, the your video is going to be suppressed by the algorithm, right? So we're not quite set up for guitar yet. Bottle caps. If I decide to do that, I'll start another stream, you know, in 20 minutes or half an hour or something like that, right? So so anyway, it was an excellent show. I want to thank Violet Bird for coming on the show tonight. You know, she has a link, she can re-click it there if she's available, right? But we did discuss that we were going to be on for about an hour, and it's been about an hour, right? So I'm going to end this broadcast, and hopefully we'll pick up Violet Bird again someday. Thank you all for watching. Love and peace from Canada. And you are YouTube. Thank you.